Okay. So I drew this out or just wrote this out just to kind of show you my thought process of how I see and understand things. So for first of all, if it's truth, it don't matter where you get it from, where you gather it from. Truth can be applied to all things. It don't matter if it's a color, a shape, a feeling. It doesn't matter. Truth is truth, and it goes through anything, right? So anyways, so here, just want to show you. So like in the first part of the Bible, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That was the earth star chakra, 000. And then the soul star chakra, 888. And let me show you this little cool thing. You take the number 8 and you break it down, 8 equals 2 zeros, right? And then think about like when you unplug your stove or a clock, like the power goes out temporarily. And then like you'll see like just 000. That just means like a reset, right? So here, take that same reset logic, put it back here in the earth star chakra. Reset. And you ever think about the part in the Bible where it says like even heaven is a resting place for demons, like they can come there when they're tired, for the angels and the demons. That part really got me thinking, like, what the world? So what is we striving to try to be good for, and what's bad? And and it's really all about perception. And then it all ties into this is the key. This right here, if this is not in the right place, it's going to throw off everything else, right? So when you're going back to the angel number, so think about the earth star chakra as 0000, the reset period. Like anybody can go there. So like no matter what level that you're on, if you need a break or a rest, that's what 0 is, just rest, reset. See, show you, reset. But you have rest with the E, but rest and reset. But hang on, I always like to write the words backwards too, just to see what we got. Ooh, a taser, tesser, teaser. But anyways, but no, 00 is the reset, boom. So then like if you ever seen angel numbers, 111, boom, 222, sacral, 333, solar plexus. So like, why do I have the Garden of Eden here now, right? You know anything about numerology? The number 3 just means decisions, right? Decisions. So what type of decisions did they have in the Garden of Eden? That was good and evil. So when they tell the story about Adam and Eve, where you want to think about Lilith, the first Adam or the Adam before him, times, and half of times, like the whole times the world ended and started again. Or Atlantis, like come on, like I know some stuff, bruh. But I'm just trying to just give you like the basic. I don't want to overwhelm you with what I know, because it overwhelmed me sometimes too. But and then also I have this right here too, the 7 seals in Revelation. For the people that says, oh, if it's not in the Bible, I don't believe it, even though the Bible has been translated wrongly. Because like if you've ever read, like if you like really understood the source operates from right to left, right? Right to left, right to left. We go from left to right. That's how we're trained to read, and that kind of throws us off too. But if you read books like the Quran, you see how it starts there and then you flip the page and you go back. That's how it should be. So imagine somebody trying to translate the Bible and they're starting from the beginning and then don't even have the right translations. And then if you understand anything like the rules of translations, you're not supposed to translate a name. Your name is your name no matter what religion, language, or whatever. However, they translated names. And that's why everybody's confused. But let's get back here, right? But the Keys of Enoch, if you've never read this book before, it's called The Keys of Enoch. It's a white book, gold lettering, clearly states, clearly, it doesn't hesitate. It says the 7 chakras are the 7 seals and revelations. I ain't gonna say what else it said, because Jesus always called everybody like some hard neck, like some stiff neck, hard headed people. Like, yeah, he just refused to learn, right? So anyways, this is where Adam and Eve was tempted at, in the solar plexus chakra. However, they did make it up here to the Tower of Babylon. This is where humanity made it. before they was like, we gonna take over. We want to take this crown and intuition, the third eye, for ourselves, so they can have the keys to the universe, not just the city, Craig, like the whole world type stuff, right? So they wanted to get to the soul star chakra. So when the Tower of Babylon fell, it cut off at the throat. So it left the throat. And if you think about the body, like when you have the head right here, the throat is like really right here in outer space. That's outer space. It's not, it's connected, but it's not, right? Then you got your clavicles right here. Then you got the rib cage, the 7 cages to protect what's in here. But the throat, you don't really understand how complex that is, right? You got your Adam's apple in there, but what protects the Adam's apple? You got your larynx as well, and it's the larynx, really. The larynx is the voice box, but it's the larynx is protected by the Adam's apple, sorry, I'm probably one of apple, which is protected by another layer of protection. There's 3 layers of protection just right here on your throat. This is truth. Let there be light. The Tower of Babylon. So before Jesus came to be, we've already made it up to the 5th seal, right? We made it to the 5th seal, the throat. But if the heart's not in the right place, what is truth? The opposite of truth is a lie, right? And you get a lie now and you go to the intuition, you're going to get delusions, hallucinations, because it's not real, because your heart's not in the right place. And then you think about it, the heart and the throat is the bridge between the heart and the mind, between the crown and the heart. The bridge is that protection, even though it's so small, right? Where it go? It's so small, but that is the protection to protect the larynx, the voice box, right? So when Jesus came from the heart chakra. So Jesus came from the fo, right? But no, he came from the heart chakra, right? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, he came from the heart chakra, and then he started preaching from the throat chakra, right? From truth. Once he became 33, which means something else, but I'll get into that in another video. But he came from the heart. And this is why it says God is love, because, you know, the heart is like represents love, but he came from the heart chakra. And then this is where he stood his ground on truth. He stood 10 toes down to give us and try to give us back the keys. It was 2 keys, the 2 fish, and the 5 loaves of bread. This would be the 5 loaves of bread. These chakras, the root, sacral, solar, heart, and the throat. So when that Bible story where it says Jesus fed the people with the 5 loaves of bread, this is fullness already, right? Fullness. When you eat bread, you add bread to your meals because that helps you get full. We already had access to this fullness, but we wasn't operating correctly because of this chakra right here. This is where masculinity comes from. Masculine energy. This is feminine energy. And in some instances, I'll relate to this as like father and a crown as mother, right? Or however you think about it, if you want to think about a family setting now, the father was deep in his ego, like, right? I don't need no woman for nothing. I don't need nothing. Duh. This is my world. I created this. I can do this. Da, 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 da. Ego. Ego came here from the root chakra, because now you're thinking about the soul star chakra. Think about the soul star chakra, even though this says the heavens, but think about this as the heavens as well. They're a reflection of each other on earth as it is in heaven. It's like a mirror, a reflection, like water, a reflection between the two. So on earth as it is in heaven, which means that the earth star chakra and the soul star chakra are the same place. And this is why Jesus mentioned, he said the first 2 keys or the first 2 mysteries have already been obtained. That's the earth star chakra, because we have life. We're on this earth, right? We can breathe. That's how these 2 have already been obtained. We ain't have to do nothing but be, right? And then Get yourself together. You start from the bottom, and it's like building a house. You have to have a foundation first. Then on your foundation, you're going to put your ideals, your ideas, and, put your creation on top of your foundation. Then on your foundation, you're going to make a decision how you want it to be. Boom, you're going to love your creation, and just keep going on from there. But I just wanted to show you guys, just in another way, that it's all the same. The 7 keys, the 7 seals, we're all going in the same direction. Just stop being so caught up on names and titles, because it's not true. Like this world is just set out to confuse you. It's gonna keep you away from yourself and keep telling you like everything that you believe is evil. Like the 666 is not evil. That's our carbon, electrons, and like that's us. We're 666. And then it says, oh, that's evil. It's not. You have to see why they're saying it's evil. It's evil to them, but it's not to us. We've been stuck here on this 8, right? Stuck at the soul star chakra. And then after that, reincarnation, back to the root. Instead of going up, we've been going back down and coming down here, reliving the same things. Because once you get into like your lessons, your soul missions, but you have to know where you came from first. You have to understand the past to understand the future. And this is why I keep saying the past, present, and the future is the same place. It's the same place. No matter how you look at it, and you want to know where the past, present, and the future exist and where it can be accessed, right here in the throat chakra. How does that make sense? You have no idea. The throat is the spiritual room. Yes, your third eye and your crown is in your head is intuition, but you have to think that your brain is just a projection screen. It projects what the heart sees, what the heart feels, what the heart knows. The heart runs the show, but the brain just sits at the top and gives out commands and gives out orders to everybody else. But it's the heart. The heart is a house of love. But this is where the past, the present, and the future, it all exists here. And you know where else you can access this at? When you go to sleep, in your dreams. When you dream, you ever dream about a loved one, that's you accessing the past, right? And the future at the same time. And in that present moment, because you're dreaming, you have access to that. You have access to the future. Most people get premonitions and stuff in their dreams. This is the past, present, and the future right here in the throat. This is why the throat is so important and why we got cut off from this, because we misused our gifts and our abilities when we tried taking it down to get up here instead of doing the work. And this is why we all got sent back at 1 like Brian McKnight, but really back at 0. And then we have to work our way back up. And this is why when you get to the heart, nobody can get to my father, which they put father up here, but I'm going to say mother. No one can get to my mother unless they go through me, because you access the father down here through the ego. This is the father. This is the I am. I'm better than everybody. I created. I brought you in this world. I'll take you out. But this God or this entity, this villain, this mother, she's like, you ain't touching my babies. Like, no, we gonna get it right. And that's why when I say about the reincarnation, you can look at it at both ways like that. It's 2 sides to a story. It always is, but you're in the middle of that side. You right here, you're the awareness between the two, right? So you have access, and then like you can tap into past knowledge. And if you ever heard of like Akashic records, that's in your neck, that's stored. And once you start and just work the color scheme, follow the rainbow, follow the yellow brick road, like whatever you want to do. This is the climbing, the staircase to heaven. This is the vertebrae, like this is the way. And you can say it's evil all you want, but it's a matter of perception, right? As long as your heart's in the right place, you can never go wrong. But our heart was not in the right place. Our heart got hardened because we had no access to the feminine energy up here. The feminine energy was taken away when the Tower of Babylon got cut down. So when Jesus came, he came to restore, right? And then right here, think about the body again. You got your head, sorry, that's your neck. And your body, we had the body, the legs. Told you guys don't talk about my drawing. But we had that, right? So we had the body. This was the bread. This is the fish. People dreaming about fish. This is the fish. It was up here. And this is the throat. And we got cut off from here because the fish had to be protected at all costs. You can't take a fish out of water and take it down to dry land. It's gonna die. But you can come up and access and, you know, do other things. But this is just my thought process. So again, if you ever see like angel numbers, the chakra systems, I'm never gonna stop talking about it because now this thing just opened my mind to like a lot of more stuff. But boom, the Garden of Eden. And I've just been working to see like all these places in the Bible, because it is, if it's true, it can be applied to all things, right? So think about that. They were created here, placed into a sacred place. Then somebody crossed some sacred waters. They broke the seals and crossed into sacred waters. And the thing that they were supposed to protect, they started mating with. They mated with the stuff they were supposed to be protected with. And that's why, like, even in Enoch, if you've ever read the book of Enoch, when the fallen angels was going to God, you know, trying to tell Enoch to go to God and be like, hey, tell him we sorry. Hey, we did this. We show him how to do this. Oh, it's going to be right. And God was like, no, because y'all thought y'all knew everything. Y'all knew a little bit of truth. Y'all knew one little tiny, like, and I mean like this tiny. As much as that fallen angels taught us with technology and all this other stuff, this is all that they taught us, this little speck, compared to the whole universe. And that's why God said you can never be forgiven. You got trusted with a small little secret, you know, and you broke my trust and you had everything. You had eternal life. You had everything already. All I wanted you to do was just watch creation and watch them go and this, that, and the other, which I'll get into even that story, like about the Garden of Eden, because I took that one even further than I think anybody has even gone before, like beyond any book. And this is all based off of visions and stuff that I've seen. Like, for instance, people says, oh, Jesus died at the age of 33. And I can tell you for a fact, he did not die at 33. He was an old man. He was an old man, bearded, gray hair. He lived a full life. Married to Mary Magdalene. Who let the dogs out? But he was married to Mary Magdalene. They had 3 children. 2 boys and a girl. I could tell you where they went off to, like after the whole, they went running and all that other stuff. Like the Bible only tells you bits and pieces. Work this system. I promise you, you're going to find out the same things I found out. Because it's a collected truth, and that truth is stored right here in the throat in the Akashic records. And in the spiritual room, anybody can access the Akashic records. It's like a public library of consciousness. So anybody can come pick up and read your book, read your story, tell your story, and just see your process. And that's how some people come in and they know how to manipulate your energy, because they know how to read the Akashic records and tap in. I paid for a course like last year or 2 years ago. I paid like $150 to take a course about Akashic records, and I didn't even finish it. All I read was the front page, the, what do you call that, the dogs are throwing me off, like the little overview for what the course was about, and they were just telling me, and that's all I needed. And I never even had to take that course, so I just pretty much wasted $150, which wasn't a waste because I've never heard of Akashic records ever beforehand. But Spirit told me, was like, you've already been tapping into your Akashic records and showing me, like, I've been using gift and I've been doing things that I don't even know, because I didn't know that they had a name. Like, she showed me, like, I was doing Reiki before I even understood what Reiki was. All I had to do was go look at it, and I'm looking at the symbols, and I'm like, wait, I do all this stuff anyways. I just thought I was weird. But it helped me, but I never told anybody about any of this, because people are like, oh, you weird or you crazy. So a lot of the stuff I kept to myself, but I never stopped doing that. But now I'm just confident enough to just talk to you guys about it, because it has helped me. It does work. You can say what you want to say, but this is the way. And anybody that's willing and interested, I got you. And I'll show you how I got here. Show you like the work you may need to be done, whether it's fasting, grounding, whatever. And mostly if you just fasting alone, That helps a lot. That helps you when you fast, you reset. And don't mean you have to necessarily start back at 1. You can reset and jump back up to 4, reset and jump up to 8, reset and go back to where you was at. That's just a resting place, right? A neutral resting place for everybody. So I just wanted to show this video just to show you like my thought process. Of course, I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm just finding ways to just slowly peel off the bandage. I'm sorry. These dogs are throwing me off. But I'm just like finding ways to just slowly just peel it back and just show you that we have been lied to. And I know if I do it too fast, like that could throw some people into shock. I ain't trying to do all that. So I can take it. I don't, I'm okay with being called different and people saying I'm wrong and trying to come at me with Bible verses. But truth is truth, no matter how you look at it. And we're not being taught anything about the feminine, anything about the spiritual, because they're telling us if you can't, like Horton Hears a Who, if you can't see it, you don't feel it, it don't exist, or whatever they say, but trying to say like it's not real. And the whole time there was a whole civilization of people living on one tiny little speck, and they're trying to throw it away. But thank goodness Horton had the right mind to get them where they needed to go. And that's me in this instance. I'm gonna be like Horton, and I'm willing to help and speak with anybody that's looking for the right way to go. We've tried it this way our whole lives, and it's got us nowhere. Back to zero again, but never up to spiritual completion, the crown chakra, to the soul star chakra. There's more up here. There's way more to life. And then people think, like when they said Jesus died at death, that was a rebirth. His ego died at 33, not him. Not him. I seen him as an old man. I seen him teleporting. I seen him using his powers. This man has fought in wars. This man was married. He had kids. Like, come on. The Bible's not going to tell you this stuff. But you already know it. But you just have to unlock this information inside of you first. But that's all I want to share. I really wasn't trying to make this a long video. But work the chakra systems. Roy G. Biv. And like right now, I'm wearing my bracelet. And you see here what I have on. Some blue sodalite, some lapis lazuli. What else I got? Some obsidian, black obsidian, right? And that's all for my upper chakras now. For some reason, I feel like I need it and I just wear it. So I'm protecting myself by wearing a bracelet that I made. And I do hand make these personally, just specialized bracelets for whatever you have going on. I have enough intuition. I sit down with spirit and I just, formulate anything that you may need. Again, and like I said, if you need any bracelets, I will post a link at the bottom of this video. If you have any questions about anything I said, please feel free to reach out to me. And all you people that's in my inbox that want to give me a reading and you feeling something special pulling to you, get out of that. And stop playing with the source, because you're going to find what you're looking for. You're going to thinking you're going to go finding stuff trying to make some easy money, and you're going to find a boogeyman keep playing around with people and trying to scam people. Just knock it off. And when you get your karma, don't come crying. But just those people, stay out of my inbox. Every time I post this, I got a strong feeling the universe is urging me, like, keep that. I have a connection with source, not saying nothing against nobody, but I have my direct connection with my mother and my father, right? I'm not saying I don't need nobody and I don't need help, but you're not going to try to distort me or try to get money out of me. Like, nah, none of that. But again, if you have any questions, come on, go ahead, reach out to me. And then I'm going to go ahead and break down the chakras. That's what I'm still working on, to see where every place was at. Especially like in the Bible, like all these wars and these fights, like it all compares to our body. And that's how we was put together. And that's why it says the key is inside of us. And you understand your body, you understand yourself, you understand where you came from, where you are, where you going, right? And where you want to be is going to gain that 444. And then again, once you have all your chakras aligned, and I showed the formula before how I got the answers, because the chakras are just flowers, energy sources, right? And they all have different petals on them. So the 144,000, again, it is a frequency. It is not people. There's way more than 144,000 and people in heaven alone. Right? And think about it, 2/3 went against heaven. Like, come on, think of all the people on the earth. Everybody has a spirit. Think of all that. There's billions of people. And so you're only telling me out of billions of people, only a small, that's not even 1/3 of humanity. Come on now. And this is just people here, still living right here. You're better than everybody. You're chosen. You're chosen. You don't know what you were chosen for. But you just love to just keep throwing that word out there. Chosen. You can be chosen for slaughter, but you're like, I'm chosen. I'm chosen. I'm the strongest warrior. Ah, ah, ah. You don't really know what you over here hooting and hollering about. Everybody has the ability to get on this frequency. That's why it comes down to a choice. Right here. Your soul, your spirit. Your sun, how do you want your sun to shine? Do you want it to be dark or do you want it to be light? Like, how do you want your reality to go? Because everybody has control. And contrary to popular belief, everybody has control and everybody has witnesses. Each one of these are witnesses against you. The more that you know, these are your witnesses and they're all inside of you. You don't have to worry about the next person telling on you. You're going to tell on yourself. On yourself. But the chakra system is what helped me to understand what I know. And again, I'm going to get back to the story of the Garden of Eden. Because most people, I'll just say it here. Forget it. So from my understanding to where I'm at, and I probably do have to make another video. But the Garden of Eden was clones. Clones made in its own image. And you know, I got that ideology from watching Star Wars. If you've watched any of my videos before, I've already said like that's how I found my connection to God, Source, Most High, my spiritual team, my ancestors, all from watching the Clone Wars, the little cartoon series on Disney Plus. And I was watching that since about 2015, 2014, but I would just watch the whole, how many seasons, like 4 or 5 seasons. And I watch them all, started over, and I had no idea why I'm watching this. And then one day I just asked myself, like, why do I keep watching the same movies? And it just be like the same like type of movie or the same movie over and over. And that's when like I heard a voice and it was a woman. She spoke to me. She said, because you're not getting it yet. So you're going to keep watching it until it clicks. And I said, what am I not getting? And that's when at the time where I'm believing like Jesus was the savior and he's coming back and all this other stuff. And, you know, with that Christianity ideology. And she told me to think bigger, think outside the box. And then that's when I came to understanding Jesus is just our brother. This is why he said, don't pray to me, pray to my father or pray to my mother. When he confronted the disciples, when it was like, oh, your mama wants you. He's like, who is my mother? But they just rephrased that. He said, that ain't my mama. And he told them, like, I know who my mama is. He has connection directly with his mother. That's what he kept saying, like, my mother? Who is my mother? And, you know, that's why Joseph didn't like him low key. But it's like they ain't going to put all this in the Bible. Joseph couldn't stand him. Could not stand him. But that was his blood son. But he was low key jealous of his son. But come on, y'all. It's the more you know. For real. But I'm open to like all these discussions, topics. But my understanding from the Garden of Eden, it was like on the Clone Wars, how they had them all in incubators. And then when it says, oh, I gave them my mind and like all this other stuff. Think about, if you ever seen that show, The 100, when they put in the mind drives inside of different people and then they and they get to live on through different people. This is what the fallen angels, how they decided or how they figured out how to have eternal life. But then you also have to think about it. We were also made with the scraps. All the leftover pieces, we were reused particles. That's why we share so much with nature. It wasn't like by design. Somebody snuck into the lab, made us, wasn't supposed